kept the oranges. That's a good for me.
Oh, you just snipped your line. Don't go mad, eh? John, you tied to something under a rock. Yeah, but
There will come a dawn when the sun will rise on a dying world. Dying because of man's seeming inability to limit his numbers and his struggle to keep pace with his own development. Can we teach our children a better way? Can they learn by our mistakes so that their children inherit a living world? Not very far from Fort Victoria, on the edge of Rhodesia's Lowveld, is Mushandeek Sanctuary. Here, in 1972, an enlightened and imaginative scheme was born. Rhodesian educational courses in conservation and environmental studies, RECCE for short, set up by Education and Wildlife Authorities. Since then, children from junior schools all over Rhodesia have come to touch the face of nature, learning something of her ways and the interrelationship of all living things. The activities are varied, but the message is the same throughout the week-long course. Get out and about with nature, understand the damage man can do, and repair it where you can. But above all, respect nature and learn to live as part of her.
Right, I'd like you to sit for a minute, absolutely quiet, and use your ears and listen. Beautiful, isn't it? Do you ever hear it as quiet as that in the city? Yeah. Right. So this is one reason why we have to have an area like this where we can get away from your environment. This is what we want, to be able to come out, sit down and appreciate nature. But before we can do this fully, we must understand how nature works. Well, it starts right here on this rock. Basically, what happens, the lichen dies, the rock is weathered by the wind and rain, it breaks down, starts forming primitive soil. This then develops through this process of succession and gives us soil. And it is this process which we must protect. Now, pull through this till we'll make grain. Hold on. And we'll see what happens. Okay. No grass growing on this. I've grown some grass and I've let the grass die. Now I've done this on purpose just to show you how even a poor cover like this can help. We've lost more water, but tell me something about that water.
It's cleaner.
Now, let's just have a look at this one. See how much soil you've lost. There it is there. Right, I'd like you to look around you now and see the results in the field of what we were talking about earlier on about the cover. You can see in the area here where there's no cover that we have erosion starting, the soil is starting to move away, and as the water picks up speed, so the donga gets deeper and deeper. We have a saying here, when water's running, it's got a lot of energy and it can carry things, but when it walks, it can't carry anything. So we say, we make the water walk so it drops the soil behind it. And this is what we want you to do now, is to collect brush and old trees and stones and try and fill this donga up and slow the water down. Roll on with the rocks. Come on, the flintstones. Just drop it straight. Hard work, well done. Yeah, just fill in the 30 minutes. Right, bring that one. It's all right, just a big one coming. Thank you all. Now look, this is what I want you to do. We'll have a look at the bark of the trees, and we'll collect as many different types of bark, and then we'll see how these adapt, okay? Another thing is we'll try and get as many roots as we can, and stems, and flowers, and seeds. Now, some of you, I want you to go up this rocky kopje over here and see what you can find at the top. The others, don't all go up there. The others, lift up rocks. Look under the rocks, you might find some roots. Scratch the bits of the bark off the trees. And don't forget different types of leaves as well when you're handling the leaf side. All right. And I tell you what, I'll give you about 10 minutes. And then we can come together and we'll sort this little lot out. Where does this type of leaf grow? Think. Where would you find this leaf? It's got a big area, like an elephant ear.
Where there's not so much sun?
Where there's not so much sun. These plants like to live in shady areas. All right. Now, where then will you get a compound leaf like this growing? Yes.
In the sun.
These will grow out in the sun. Yes. And then where will this one grow? Not in between. In the very, very, very hot sun. Where do you find very, very hot sun? Desert areas and rocky areas. Okay. We chop it open. All right, he's been eating grass. All right. So he takes the food down from first stomach, holds it there, regurgitates it up to the mouth, chews the cud, sends it back down the esophagus. All right, remember I said we had 4 stomachs, it now goes to the second stomach. So what's the food going to be like in the second stomach? He's chewed it.
More drier.
No, it won't be drier. Finer, more mushy. All right, we'll use the word mushy, which is very appropriate. Have you heard your parents talk of the Bible when they're cutting animals open? Eh? No. Well, this is what the Afrikaans call the Bible. Here the food is a lot drier, a lot finer, and absorption's taking place. And here's the reason why they call it the Bible. Look at the pages.
of discovery is ending, but like a very special holiday, will never be forgotten. These youngsters may not remember all they have seen and learned, but the seeds of caring have been sown. There is the hope that having once looked through this window on the wild, they will search beyond it, ensuring a wiser use of all the resources of their world.